Hello everyone, how you doing? And welcome back to Skye and Evan in the morning. And today we're gonna be talking about a very important film historically in terms of like its influence in just the whole subgenre of film. And the film is Perfect Blue, the Japanese 1997 animated film that inspired films like The Substance and Black Swan and
I
Whiplash and
I saw
yeah.
yeah, like there's so much aesthetic. It's like Akira is another one that's a similar
Mm,
anime that just because everyone knows the Akira slide, but just like there's so many movies that just elements you see them in other movies,
mm.
and yeah.
Yeah, I had seen this film prior. I watched it with a friend, and it's like his favorite film of all time. Um, and I was wanted to rewatch it. I even I watched Black Swan for the first time just
Oh,
just this week. Yeah.
what did you think? Like I said, I think I'd heard comparisons, and like I don't know if there was like some sort of official plagiarism claim, but I
Yeah.
remember people were saying that like it was a semi ripoff. I'm like, I don't think so. I think it was
I
more
I think it
Trumbull and
is
Whiplash than anything.
clearly inspired. I think it's like you can tell.
It
There's
is.
I think the idea is like the way the idea that it came up for, the way they came up with the idea for Black Swan was, wow, Perfect Blue is a very cool,
Well,
interesting film, and the it was Darren Aronofsky, right? He was like, um I like ballet. This reminds me of the the Swan Queen um uh piece. And it was like, well, I wonder if I can make it about that. So it's like basically adapting Perfect Blue to be about the Swan Queen ballet piece. And I don't think it is like plagiarism. I think it's just a clear inspiration because you can tell where
yeah,
the ideas come from in Perfect Blue to influence Black Swan, but I wouldn't call it plagiarism whatsoever. No.
yeah, loving homage and
Yeah.
like loving inspiration rather than rip off, or because I think structurally and in terms of what the movies are doing, they're different.
Mm.
So, but I was shocked at how little I knew about it because I was expecting something more akin to Black Swan. You know what I was laughing at though? What this movie actually reminded me of a lot was Smile 2, because that movie's also about like kind of a pop star who's like facing like under a lot of mental pressure with just being a pop star, with the whole like everyone loves them, everyone's taking pictures, and everyone like wants to see them. And then like they also like kind of start losing their mind and they can't like piece together like what is real and what isn't. And it leads to a full like the ending also reminded me a little of like Happy Death Day, with like a full out like knife fight with the person who's like been doing everything all along. So this feels like a bunch of different movies that I've already seen, but it, like, it's that whole like you watch the movie that inspired
Yeah,
others
it's
because
watching Ocean's 11
I
after you've seen a bunch of
yeah,
heist movies. Yeah.
exactly. But my God, does this movie do it well? For one, the animation is beautiful. The use of color alone, and just everything looking so crisp and hand drawn. It's it is
I
incredible
think the thing
and like should be.
that like shocks me the most is how good the editing is. Like it's jump
Yes.
because like we are constantly jumping between like scenes and places because of how like scattered the main characters Mi Mika Mira, right? Yeah, Mira, that's her name. Mina Mimarin
It's
Minarin
Mima. Mima.
Mima, yeah, Mimarin, yeah.
Mima.
Yeah, jumping because of how scattered her state of mind is. And so we're like constantly jumping between her shooting scenes for the TV show she's doing and her during presentations and her talking to people. And it the way they make these cuts, it feels so natural. It feels like kind of like a dream, where you're like you're looking forward and then you look left to your dream and like the entire environment changes and nobody addresses it. you know Like it has that kind of feel that I really really liked.
Well, there's other amazing scenes with the editing where they use ambience well, and they just like one of my favorite scenes is the scene where they kill the screenwriter in the elevator and like his eyes, like the
Mm-hmm.
music. That scene was so well done in terms of I love those types of scenes where you just build tension through quietness and just
Mm-hmm.
something soft in the
It
background
felt
and
so
then
Fincher, didn't it? That scene. I was like, I could
it
see this in
did.
like Seven or something. It just, yeah,
Well, and also like you don't see it, you just see the elevator
yeah.
afterwards. The bottom of the elevator is already red, and then it's just filled with blood and the doors close. Like that was one hell of a scene visually and in terms of how everything was played out.
Mm,
So movies filled with examples of scenes like that that are just is because yeah, it's like animated and it's all like, but it's just crisply put together.
yeah. I yeah. I assume you liked it a lot then.
Yeah, I did. I what did you because you were saying that you didn't really it wasn't like quite your vibe, at least the
Yeah.
first time you watched. What did you think retrospectively and
I did
with
enjoy
Black
it more
Swan
this
now?
time. I think especially because it was a rewatch and I knew spoilers by the way, but I knew that Rumi was the killer. It did fall into place better because I could pick up on like the small like setups of her being like, you know, like this failed pop
Just to
idol
clear that
and
up and
yeah.
because yeah, like I this is like my first time seeing just like so Rumi was like the killer along and the vision was that just the visions seemed to be coming like from her and her just kind of like losing her mind. Is that just like the pressure and the roomy stuff is separate from that, or
Yeah.
was that like deliberate?
I think they both work together, I guess. Of like Rumi is is using the fact that there's so much pressure on Mima that she like overloads her like senses or something like that to like make her feel like she's losing her mind so that she can like blame it on her and everything. So like I think it's part of it. I think it's kind of like Black Swan in the sense of like you don't know how much of it is deliberate that Mila Kunis is doing to Natalie Portman and how much of it is just Natalie Portman like being paranoid.
Yeah. Well, it's that's funny how that works as well. That dynamic felt kind of like just what the main character in Perfect Blue is going through of
Mhm.
there being a kind of devil in the shoulder kind of
Yeah.
character. And I always do love that as just an idea. There being Samurai Jack did something similar in its last season of just having the like the character going through a dark arc and there being someone that is like whimsical in terms of how they like talk, but they're evil and devilish in terms of like the words they're saying. And like it's funny how that works and how effective that is as a tool for characters, but
Mhm.
having the voice in your head that like is guilty or shameful, it's yeah.
Yeah. Um but yeah, I don't know. I think you could interpret it either way that she is using that to like make Mima seem like she's losing her mind. So she like goes back to being a pop idol just because it's like her. It is her dream, like Rumi's dream, and she she's a failed pop idol. She never made it big, and so she can't fathom that someone would like give up on a dream like that, which for
One is
me is
probably
pretty good
also
motivation.
well, it's also probably like living vicariously through her. You
Yeah,
know, her success is like, you know, she's kind of the washed out one, which
yeah, which is
I
in
did
Black
like
Swan. It
that by
was
the way.
her
It's,
mom though that had that Natalie Portman's mom. Like I said, it's very
yeah,
similar.
it's funny too because I like again with Smile too. She like calls her mom early on, and her mom isn't a character, but Rumi kind of. occupied a similar
Mm-hmm.
role to the mom in Smile 2, like, so it reminded me of that.
Yeah.
God, that movie is so fucking weird. I I still remember watching that in theaters. Um, but yeah, what like stuck out to you when you watched it the first time? And in the second, like, 'cause if it wasn't your vibe, like, what was it that was just like kind of not working or that you were
Um,
unimpressed by?
I think I mean, I had the same issues both times. It's just that the second time, I think the whole overall package appealed to me more because I could see like what I was aiming for better. My problem though is the ending. I don't know if I like the happy ending it's going for, you know, of the whole like
I
I'm real, I'm the real thing, or like I don't know. It
well,
seems kind of weird for a
honestly,
movie where she's losing her mind. I think the ideal ending would be both of them dead on that like truck, like hitting them. Like at least for
well,
me.
honestly, I that imagery of the truck where she like turns back and she looks like and Rumi looks like her, and then the truck's lights look like stage lights. You
Mm,
see her like basking in that, like that imagery. There's nothing in that last like 2 minutes that feels more powerful than that moment. And
mm,
like, of course, her saving Rumi's life makes sense, but that the build up in that moment is amazing, and the last part does feel like kind of a 2 minute epilogue to just give a happy ending to both
yeah.
characters. When me, I don't know though. I'm like it's almost like it'd be better without a happy ending. I'm like I don't know. It's not kind of nice to give a little bit of a hope for redemption for the villain because obviously they're fucking mentally ill, and to because for the love of God, what Mima goes through inside of this movie, I would say she's probably earned a happy ending, but it does feel maybe a little bit like more could have been wrapped up, or maybe she could have lost a little more in that final ending. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. It just seems like it's wrapped up a little too neatly for a film where like she's losing her mind. You know what I mean? Like it should be something where like I don't know. I don't know. I kind of expected a little bit more of consequences, I guess, for Mima. Um, I think the Rumi stuff is fine. Like, yeah, she's put in an asylum and she's being taken care of, and Mima, like, you know, but it would
I
and
mean, would she go back to her band? I don't even know if they addressed all that too much. Like, what
well,
she's gonna do with her life now? And like,
yeah. I mean, the whole thing is just like her like understanding her reality now because it was being manipulated before by Rumi. So, you know, it's her accepting that that's who she is instead of like being someone that other people want her to be. Like I completely
second guessing
understand
someone,
all
yeah.
that it's going for. I just don't know if I like it.
That's fair enough. Like I said, I do think I see the ending where things ended darker being a more powerful ending,
hmm
but I still do think it works. It's just that it is a little bit undercooked. Um,
Yeah, but that's like my only
honestly,
thing. It's like you said, if you cut out those like last 2 minutes, I think I would probably get have a higher, much better perspective on this film. I don't know. It's because it's like when you watch films like this, you know, the whole like striving for perfection, and you kind of want there to be like some kind of like lasting consequence, even if the character achieves their dreams. It's like with Whiplash, like he does it,
yeah.
but it's like it's not a happy ending for that film. That film's
Well,
ending is bleak, you know.
I swear I someday I would love to do a video on the end of Whiplash, just talk it because I really do think that might be like the best ending of all time. And
hmm
one of the things, because that's exactly it, is that it's not a happy ending. It's meant to be like kind of bleak when you really do think about it. I've always been like, I don't think this guy is on the path to success. And I'm like, I think it's like essentially downhill from here, I but it still feels big, bombastic. It's such a perfect ending. Like I said, that's the truck was that for
Yeah.
this movie, and maybe they just should have gone for it. Maybe they should have gone for the bleaker high note. Even just cutting to black after like maybe an attempted push, but it just doesn't look like there's enough time. That
Hmm.
that could work. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, this there's a through line. We mentioned Black Swan as well, but there's so many movies like
Oh
this that
yeah,
are about
yeah. It's the
movie
thing with Black
characters
Swan
trying
as
to.
well, where she achieves it. She did the perfect performance. Like she says, it was perfect, and then she dies. So it's I guess spoilers
Yeah.
for Black Swan, but yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I was about to. Everyone compares this to that anyway. Like, you probably know about Black Swan if you've heard of
yeah.
Perfect
Most
Blue.
people have watched Black Swan. I was the only heathen who hadn't yet. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. And it's just that, like, I really like everything else about the film. It's just those like last 2 minutes that bug me. But like, it's such a wild film. Like, just for tackling so many subjects, you're like, holy shit, we're going there. Like, she films a rape scene,
That,
and that,
like, legitimately, it was fascinating. The like seeing that from a filmmaker perspective, like
uh,
they treated it just like her as an actress, and like I was surprised to just see that. I'm like, damn, yeah.
well, I love that scene of them shooting it, of just like her yelling at everything. It's just like, okay, cut. Everyone hold your positions, and everything's quiet. You're like, oh yeah, no, this is all pretend. But like, she gets wrapped up, like she gets pulled into it as she's filming, because that is what like acting is. You kind of pull from your own experiences to deliver, a more authentic performance instead of just pretending. Um, so you can tell that there's like some traumatic shit happening to her just as she's filming it, and that it later scars her so much that she thinks that that guy, the Mr. Me Mania, who's like obsessed with her, that he is raping her. She like hallucinates that whole thing. So it's wild. Like I think it speaks really interestingly to the way actors like approach their work, and like
Yeah.
especially how much you have to push yourself if you're a rookie actor who like can't pick and choose your roles. It's like, well, they want you to do a rape scene. You're like, okay, it's the only thing I'm gonna be able to do to be able to advance my career. So let's do it. So yeah,
Well,
it's very
and
interesting.
she. Well, and they know that she's like a pop. She's known for her music, so
Yeah,
it'll
they
be
want
hard
to
to sell her as an
remake her
actress.
image. So yeah, they're like, what is the exact opposite of the like the nicey pop idol image you have? Well, so yeah, it's fascinating. I don't know. I really think it is very interesting the perspective the film has on like the whole like film industry, I guess. And it's interesting too because they
Almost.
have so many scenes of like the fans talking about it, of like being like in, like buying magazines or whatever, they're talking about the TV show and everything, and like their perspective and like being so apathetic. Meanwhile, she's like fighting for her life, like losing her mind. And people are just like, I don't care much for this rebrand, and that's kind of it. Like the world goes on around her, but she's stuck in this like, I need to do everything perfect so I can like remake my career in a way that'll like make me more money, because being a pop idol is not like it does the make me enough money, even though it's what I want to do, even though it's what I've always wanted to do. It's interesting.
Well, it's funny too. I love the title of the movie being Perfect Blue. Like, from what I understand, I looked it up because when I finished it, I was like, blue isn't really a prominent like color in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's like there's a bunch of colors going on, but I think blue apparently is a color associated with happiness in Japan, and that's the idea, is like perfect happiness. It's and this movie though is like the main character is presenting herself that way, and she's an actress, but she has such a big life and so many people involved in her life, but every time she goes home, you see her like just internally, and you see like what she's really like, and she
Mm-hmm.
just there's so much pressure on her shoulders.
Yeah.
So
One of my favorite moments is when she gets home after filming the rape scene. And she's like super chill, like her
they
driver is like, "Yeah, I'm gonna take you out for dinner. You had a hard day." She's like, "Yay, like lucky me." And then she gets home, and then she's gonna feed her fish, and they're all dead.
and yeah, they're
And then
fucking
she just
dead.
like
Yeah.
loses her fucking mind. She's like, "Of course I didn't want to film that fucking scene. Are you insane?" And she wrecks her room, and then you see the fish are all fine. And it's just like her mind, like being like Jesus Christ, like, as a trauma response. Like that was probably my favorite scene in the film. I don't know.
That was yeah, that and the elevator were up there for me. I always love that in movies when just a scene just stands out just
Mm,
for how like well edited or just for like one line just really sinking in hard. Yeah, like
yeah,
that was amazing. So much like that going on in this movie. So
yeah. There is a lot like under the surface, a lot of like very like people have said a lot that this film is like a film that deserves like infinite rewatches every time you're gonna see and notice something new. And then the film is doing a lot with like presentation to like hide stuff from you as well. So it's a very interesting watch, especially on my second watch where I knew more to try and figure out like better what it was going for. And I don't know. I like that. And the yeah, I don't know. I like as well the whole like her being so wrapped up in her character in the TV show that she starts thinking that that's her real life. The scene where she's
yes,
like, oh yeah,
that
and she thinks she's a she's an actress, but instead
it's
she's
like
a killer as the idea. And then we rewind and it's like, oh no, she's just playing a character.
the mystery it kind of fits in
Yeah.
because like people are getting murdered in the narrative, so it's
Yeah.
like, well, that maybe that ties in. They're an actress and they took on the role. I love that about the movie too. Like it's, a bit of it is the the acting, a bit of it is the singing, and
Mm-hmm.
they tie hand in hand in terms of how she's perceiving reality and the way it's all edited and put together. It just I those movies are great. Like I said, Smile 2 just straight up ripped off this movie. Like fuck off with your Black Swan. Like this is the movie that really ripped it off. But like, oh my god, I forgot the point. I was just the losing your mind element, the
Mm-hmm.
pop star losing your mind. It's so well handled in terms of just because like the famous people are just normal and we know how that works and how acting works and how singing works. And it's like a lot of it's like fake, of course, but the pressure that's on someone that is that fucking famous, like it's a lot, and it's prime for drama for a movie like this, for
Mm.
a character to just feel like they're losing reality and someone is just stalking them or killing people. And yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Reminds me of Babylon.
yeah, a little bit. Pursuit of perfection. Damien Chazelle
That's
loves
like
that
his whole
definitely
career,
as a
pursuit
theme.
of perfection. Yeah.
Yeah. So would you recommend Perfect Blue then?
I
I
absolutely would, yeah. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of the ending, and I guess I'm sorry I spoiled it if you haven't seen it. But even if you haven't seen it and you heard our whole discussion and we spoiled everything, it's still worth watching. The
yeah.
experience is like you cannot like replace that by just like talking about the scenes that happen. It is a very interesting experience. It uses like the film as a medium really well. And it's also really short. It's like 80 minutes. That's one of my favorite things about the movie. It's
Yeah.
80
Yeah.
minutes long.
I sometimes I'm like rushing to get this done at the end. I actually like finished this damn near like early this morning. Like I had a weird night of sleep, but my God, sometimes when a movie's like 2 hours and 20 and I have to watch, I'm like, oh, but this one's like, oh, that's short. But yeah, like I just the visuals alone, like our little 30-minute discussion, like does not half like spoil or ruin that.
Hmm.
Like the way this movie is presented, it's beautiful. Definitely watch it.
Yeah.
I'd heard a lot about it. This is one of those movies where I'm like, I didn't look anything up because I didn't really want to know. I'm glad I didn't because it is great.
Yeah. And if you like the substance, this is just a better version of the substance.
Yeah, more character oriented
Yeah.
around the same, shorter than the substance, which is
Yeah.
funny. But yeah,
Yeah, we did an episode of The Substance. You guys don't know, but yeah, I'm not a big fan of that film. um,
I it was actually yeah. I what which episode was that? That was relatively early on.
yeah,
Was it?
it was very early on. I don't.
I
Let me see.
I remember we didn't have all that much to talk about because of just like I mean, what could you say? It's like it feels like a long short film. It's
Yeah,
like
exactly. It was
20.
episode 13, so yeah, December
Yeah.
2024. So
Oh my God. Yeah. It's not, like I said with just all the things I was comparing this movie to. It's genuinely hilarious that this feels. It's like Star Wars or Blade Runner, just watching a movie that obviously inspires so many modern filmmakers. Just like
hmm
it's like the grandfather of like what inspired everybody. So
yeah, it's like you watch it like, oh, that's why everything is like this. you know. Yeah, it's very interesting, and it's I have a friend who makes fun of me for watching films out of order when I watch the stuff that was inspired by like films like this first before watching
oh,
the
like a
original inspiration. um,
chronological purist. Yeah, I can
yeah,
be like that sometimes when I watch everything in order.
yeah, but it's yeah. I am glad I watched it, and I do think it is like worth watching. Like regardless of what I think of the ending, I think it is just like such a well-crafted film in every possible way that yeah, just really 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 good film, really interesting story. And if you like Black Swan, this is up there, similar. So yeah. All right, Evan,
Indeed,
it's your turn. You're
it
What are
it
you going to
is.
recommend for us? The
I
second
have a double
recommendation of movies.
feature. It's been, yeah, a second one that would be this is no like New Year's ideas or anything like that. This one's a double feature of another one of my all-time favorites with another one of my not all-time favorites, but it's the sequel to it. And that is The Incredibles and Incredibles 2.
Oh, okay,
I
that's fun.
love I love Have you seen The Incredibles 2?
No, I've only seen the original. I watched it when I was a kid and I was never a
I
big fan of it. And then a couple years ago I rewatched it just cuz like I had a friend who was hounding me like it's amazing and you got to stop saying you don't like it. I was like, "Okay, I'll watch it." And yes, it was indeed amazing. But I never watched the second. I was told it wasn't worth it. And apparently they're making a third, so. But
Yes, they are, and they're
yeah.
putting a fucking gun to Brad Bird's head, which sucks, but I
Yeah.
Incredibles 2 is weird. I have so much to say about both movies and just like sequel potential. That's the other thing that I would love to talk about. I'm like my brother and I have talked about it like the sequel writes itself. It'd be so easy to make a good sequel and what they did for 2. I haven't seen The Incredibles 2 that many times, so I want to rewatch it and give it a good
Mhm.
shot. And so but yeah, Incredibles and Incredibles 2. That's my recommendation.
That's an amazing recommendation. Okay, I'm excited for that. Yeah, Incredibles. That film has one of the best like all time movie soundtracks ever. Like Mako
Oh,
Giacchino
absolutely.
just fucking locked in.
Low key, that might be like a ghost song by song because I have something to say about every track on that album. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's one of the best parts of that movie.
yeah, for sure. All right, well, that's fun. We'll I guess we'll catch you next week for The Incredibles and Incredibles 2. Thankfully, both children's movies, so they're not very long, right? I don't know how long the second one is,
Yeah,
but the original I think is like
longer than the
100 minutes.
original.
Well, obviously, like every modern movie is longer than its original. That's just how it is.
Yep.
It's one of those things where, like, because I know everyone hates like Thor: Love and Thunder. I don't, but it's whatever. But like that film is like 90 minutes long, and it just pleases me. Like, yeah, that
Oh,
tells its story
really?
in 90 minutes. Yeah, and you're like, wow, it's the only MCU film that's shorter than 2 hours. Basically, it's kind of insane. So
Pretty
yeah,
much. That was like kind of the standard for Marvel movies. There wouldn't usually be like 90 minutes. So
yeah,
I didn't know that. That's fun. And it has the Guardians of the Galaxy in it. What?
yeah. They're in it for only the first act. It's
Wait,
the
no, it's 2 hours.
Is it?
I think you're wrong. What the fuck? Yeah.
Am I?
It's not 2 hours and 40 minutes. Usually Marvel movies are like that.
But yeah, apparently it's 1 hour and 59. I could have sworn it was shorter. Okay, never mind. Ignore everything I
Maybe
said.
it feels. I'm sure everyone will say it feels like 3 hours. I never watched it. I was like,
I could have sworn
okay.
it was 90 minutes long. Okay, you know what? Whatever. I ignore everything I said. I'm stupid. I still don't think that film is bad, but I'm stupid.
Fair enough. Maybe you watched some like cut online that
No, no,
was
no. I
like a
watch it in theaters.
condensed,
I watch it in
unedited version.
theaters. I guess I'm just dumb.
Okay.
I don't know.
I like I said, good sign if you feel a movie's 90 minutes. That's
Yeah.
they're long movies that feel like that. So,
Yeah.
oh,
All right.
okay.
Well, that
Well,
little detour about Thor: Love and Thunder aside, The Incredibles. We're gonna watch that, and we're gonna talk
Incredibles.
about it next week. Yeah.
Yep.
Wait. Let me.
Watch Perfect Blue.
Yeah, you should definitely watch Perfect Blue. And Oh yeah. When? No. No. Never mind. I'm doing math wrong. Yeah. We'll catch you next week, folks. For The Incredibles and Incredibles 2. Bye bye.
Bye bye.